On the offensive end, I mean, they made a lot of tough shots with a hand in their face, and that's to their credit. I didn't think our defense was that bad for part of it, but every time I looked around, and they're knocking down some big shots. It's why they have a chance to win a championship. Their offense is really good, and they had a good game plan for us. We hung in, but it just wasn't good enough. This atmosphere was great. Hats off to everybody in the organization, to the fans. That's what home court advantage gets you. And that was big. Yeah, Kareem. Microphone.
I was going to ask about that defense. She has on your head on all season long. What kind of adjustments did you try to make after they got going in the first quarter?
I mean, we tried switching some things to just not give them any gaps. We tried, trying to get it out of Stewie's hands. I mean, we did a good job, I thought, on Stewie in the first half. And overall, I mean, she didn't shoot a great percentage, but everybody else took up the slack for her until she got going. I mean, Gabby didn't play much in the second half, but she had a good first half. And then, Talbot and Magregor and others, made some shots. I thought Sue did her usual of, getting everybody organized to where they're supposed to be and making sure the right people have shots. And they just shared the ball. I mean, they had all 5 starters in double figures. There wasn't much answer. I felt like a little bit like 2018. That they were just a little bit better all the way around. We couldn't match the same production that they had. And, that's part of our growing up a little bit. You can have as good a defense as you want. You still got to be able to score too. And we weren't good enough, tonight at either. And I mean, they played like a great team tonight. We just worked on a couple adjustments, and it obviously didn't work at the start of the third quarter because they came out firing. I thought that their aggressive double teams on Elena in the third quarter disrupted the flow of the game for us offensively. We were scrambling a little bit. We had a couple tough turnovers at the wrong time. We didn't have a ton of turnovers, but they led to fast break points. I mean, the pass, it's one thing to throw it out of bounds, but we threw some cross court passes that they intercepted, and then they go down and score on them. Those are hard. It takes you from like a 6-point game or 5-point game to 9 or 10 in a hurry.
Yeah, Mike, 5 of those 8 turnovers were in the first quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I mean, it helps everybody's confidence when you can, score in transition or get a wide open look. And, they did. I mean, they were just better. They were just better than us today.
Coach,
yeah, she did. She made big shots, and on top of she has the duty every night to guard the other team's best wing player. She had to guard Jewel at one end and try to score at the other end. Tasha's a warrior. She's going to play through everything. And that's, why she's had success, in this league, getting better every year. She's worked on things. I felt good watching her warm up today, shooting threes. It felt like it was going to go in. We just didn't get enough people, to join her in that. And that part of that's their defense too.
Coach, we'll head over to Zoom. We'll start with Jen.
Hey, Coach, sticking with Tosh, in both games, there seemed to be an emphasis on them, kind of daring Tosh to shoot from the outside a little bit, and she hit 70% of her threes across the 2 games.
Yep.
Were you expecting that from them entering the series, and how was she kind of able to get hot from out there, even though she maybe didn't have the best shooting season from there that she would have wanted?
Well, she's worked on it, and she's had looks. We expected that they would try to double off of her, and AC, who's been struggling a little bit shooting, and both of them made threes today. But they took They made it very tough for Elena. And we have a little bit, less experience in them in some regards, as far as, through our whole lineup. I thought that their depth in the lineup paid off a little bit, but Tasha's worked on it. She's done what she's supposed to do.
And then just wanted to ask, you seem like Shatori got some key minutes late as you guys tried to come back, maybe over Alicia. Can you talk about that decision lineup wise?
Just it was a field that, she was playing pretty well. She made some threes, just some quickness out there. That's a tough choice for a coach to go with a bench player, 6-person versus one of your starters. That was just my gut feel at the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach. The shots weren't falling for Elena. You mentioned the pressure that they were giving her, especially early on in the game. But what's the conversation like with Tosh to try and find other areas of attack when it's not going with your star player?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, we did go other areas. I mean, our shot distribution is that, Elena got 14 shots, Ariel got 14 shots, Natasha got 16 shots, and then everybody else got 5 or 6. We used Elena as a screener or put her in situations where she could see the double team coming. 84 points most nights we win. That's the truth of the matter. I mean, we average, 80 points a game, and 84 usually is a winning number for us. And we've been able to hold Seattle into that high 70s, 80 range most of the time. But tonight they come out and get 97. So it was as much them making shots as anything else.
Thank you, Coach.
We have some more in person here too.
Yeah, Mike, with a healthier roster with Elena back, I know it's hard to think about this just 20 minutes after.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think you reestablished this year?
In fact, I just told them, in the locker room that, it's hard because, we were known as a really good offensive team for several years, and we had, a little bit different makeup to our lineup. But because of salary cap and other issues, we reconstructed our roster to be more of a defensive oriented roster. It was what we had to do out of necessity and some wish. I mean, you want to have the best of both worlds. But we're going to have some decisions to make in the off season. We got free agency decisions. We're going to have a lottery pick. We got to try to reconstruct some parts of our roster to get balance. But it's kind of what we faced to be going from 2018 to 2019 too. We needed to make a few adjustments to get better. We got to have a situation on the court where every player you have out there is honored by the defense. That somebody doesn't say, okay, you're the weak link, and then you are the weak link. I mean, we can't have that, and it's varied off and on. I don't pretend to have all the answers for you at the moment, going into it, but clearly, we finished 5th, and not 1st or 2nd. So that's one thing. We'll see, where Elena is, but this, one of the biggest things about this year is the progress we made of, managing her, getting her through the season and trying some things for her and allowing her to grow through it and be able to play a lot of games down the stretch. The other part of next season is it won't be as condensed either, with the schedule. So there'll be a little bit more break in the schedule where she can have days that right now we wouldn't have played her during the season that she may be able to play. But that's a long way off. The WNBA off season seems like an eternity. So it gives you time to make some decisions, but it's a long time to feel like you're going to get back on the court and do something about it.
Mike, you coached against Sue as an opponent for a long time. And here she is having 18-10 in the postseason game.
I'm mad.
Are you ready for her to retire?
Yes.
What does it make her the challenge over the years?
Because she knows instinctively the nights that, she recognizes the nights that she needs to be more aggressive offensively. She knows who's got the hot hands. She sees the matchups that are favorable. I mean, you know, we talk all the time about coaches on the floor, and there really aren't that many, to be honest with you, but she is one of them because she has an innate sense of feeling the game. Like, okay, we've come down, this isn't working, but this did. And she's literally can tell a player, hey, go there because I know that they're going to do this. She has a feel and she studies the game and she knows, hey, tonight I can be a little bit more aggressive offensively because they're taking away something from my team, but they're going to give me some space. And we did that. We had to, out of necessity, you know, try to take Jewel and Stewie out of some things. So, you know, as much as I love Sue, I will be glad that she's sitting over in the stands next year when we walk in this place.
All right,
Yeah,
Coach.
back there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, microphone.
I have a question about the William Garcia.
Yes.
How do you see her performance?
I mean, she played 6 minutes and I thought she gave us a lift. But we felt like going in the fourth quarter, we needed more size on the court defensively. The way we're playing, Rui has grown throughout the year and gotten better. You know, her future in the WNBA will be dependent on how much more aggressive she can be on offense. She's been, you know, a pest defensively and she's a great passer. But, you know, when you play in this league, you got to make people honor you every time on the offensive end. And so that's her next step of her growth. Any more Zoom ones?
yeah, Coach. We'll take the last question from Olivia.
Hey, Coach. I know you've only had so much time with your players after season just ending, but what will the conversation be like, you know, going into the offseason? You talk about free agency, you talk about, you know, what this team will be like. I mean, what do you tell them going into the offseason?
I'm not really going to have that conversation with you guys right now. I haven't even formulated my own opinions about some things. No offense, but it's really not a fair question to ask me at this moment. We just lost a big game and there's a lot of stuff on the table. That'll be, you know, most teams have exit interviews right away. I probably will delay some of the exit interviews with my veterans until we can just sort some things out. You know, we'll have a couple players leaving right away to go overseas. I'll have conversations with them, but for everybody else, you know, we have 5 or 6 of our core players signed for next year and there's no rush to have those conversations at the moment.
All right, Coach. All set. Thank you very
All
much.
right, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, they were disruptive. They came with a lot of bodies for sure. And then they're good at being in help and closing out. So, you know, they played great defense. And I feel like everything was tough. Like every possession was tough. It was hard for us to get going. They just played the better game.
Maybe you are going to ask about the offense. Mike just said 84.2 was just pretty good for you guys. How good for it? It didn't seem like much can you do in the offensive end. Can you just kind of give us a glimpse of what you all saw and really how hard it is to work on that?
Yeah, I feel like all year our offense has kind of been stagnant and our Achilles heel, we're the #1 defensive team, but if we can't put the ball in the basket, it makes life really hard. So just it's us, right? We got to get in, we got to fix, you know, knowing what actions we want to go to, being able to read on the fly, being able to, you know, use Delle as a decoy with them throwing 3-4 bodies at her and knowing where the open player is going to be. But like Delle said, it was hard today. But that's no excuse. We're going to go in the off season and figure it out and be better next season because of it.
Can you share a little bit of the conversation post-game with you guys in such a kind of transition season a little bit, and now that the time after you guys kind of finding out new identities and the effective past, then just sum up the season a little bit for us.
It's a good team, you know. So I really don't know, to be honest with you. I can give you like Natasha kind of said it. Offensively, we've been trying to get going all year. Defensively, we consistently got better and better in the regular season as the #1 defensive team in the league. Yeah, now it's been up here.
Yeah, Natasha, you talked about how Thibault has really been an inspiration to you throughout the years. Tonight he has 18 and he's talked about her performance, what she's able to do out there. So
That's super. Didn't have the greatest game the other night, but her ability to just be one of the best to ever do it, the best to ever lead a team. She knew what tonight meant of having home court advantage for 2 games in a row, and understanding what this moment meant for them. So Sue just did Sue things.
and Elena, you guys are the number 1 defensive team all year long, and then Seattle picked up 97 today. Just kind of what didn't go quite as well for you guys defensively today?
I mean, they're just a great team. They have so many weapons. They're constantly in movement. They wear you down. So obviously 97 is too much, but we also needed to put up more. And again, it's like what we kind of been saying all season. Our offense just never really got to where we felt like it needed to be. And when you're playing a team like Seattle with a bunch of scores and a ton of movement, there's some breakdowns that happen.
We shot 55% from the field, 52% from the three. We shot 44%, 51. That's still a pretty good night. But we just gotta-
Not enough.
There we go.
Is this one you did?
Okay,
Oh.
thank you.
I will I wonder, is that just a mature thing? I know in terms of the offense evolution, in terms of guys that is that what you want to do?
I don't know. If I had the answers, I would have fixed it this season for our team. So I'm not sure. And again, like Ace said, the season like just ended. So I'm sure we'll all take some time to reflect and figure things out. But unfortunately, it's a long off season. We'll have time to figure it out. Every year, your team's different. So we'll see what the Mystics look like next season. But in the end, it was a great group of people. We enjoyed each other. We enjoyed coming to work every day. So that's at least a positive we can build off of.
Actually, just in terms of, I know the biggest thing you lost, but you're the first in shots. How did those come down? What do you see in terms of your offensive output?
My off-season work. I struggled shooting the ball during the season, but I knew that my work was going to pay off at some point, and this is playoff basketball. You don't have time for excuses. You don't have time for aches and pains. You just got to figure it out. So, especially with playing with Elena on the floor, there's so much attention drawn to her. Teams force us to make shots. So Elena did a really good job of kicking out of all those double teams, and I was able to get some open shots and just shoot the ball confidently.
Ariel, let's find out, what are you most proud of this season?
I still think we fought. I do think we got better. As hard as that is to kind of see right now, I do think we got better collectively as a unit as far as learning how to communicate with each other and even our IQ. Like there's a lot of times where we just had to sit and break things down. So I'm really proud of that because I think that's going to force me to become a better student of the game. And so I'm proud of the trajectory of our team. Sucks that it ended so early. But I am very proud of the foundation that we have here in the Mystics organization.
Alrighty, we'll go to Zoom for a few questions. Jen.
Hey, everybody. Coach T was just kind of drawing a bit of a comparison between this loss and the loss in the 2018 finals to Seattle, where they were just maybe a little bit better. And then you guys came back the next year and were better because of it. Do you all see a similarity with 2018 as well, or does it hit differently for you this year?
I'm tired of talking about past years. I'm tired of 2018. I'm tired of 2019. Those years don't matter. It's 2022, and we just got knocked out in the first round of playoffs. So honestly, respectfully, I don't give a fuck about any year before this. Like, game just ended 10 minutes ago. So no, we're gonna go into the off season. Like we said, every year is different. Every year contracts end, contracts switch. We're gonna have a new look. The three of us will be here, and we're gonna continue to build and get better. And we're gonna be home in the off season with each other. And that I can promise you, we're gonna be better because of that.
Thank you, Tosh.
Thank you, Jen.
We'll go to Tyler.
Hey, everyone. First question's for Tosh. With so much of this season being a focus on the defensive side of the ball, and then the allowing Seattle to score so many points in this game and how effective they were able to be offensively, does it show how far you guys still have to come defensively, or was it just a really good team being able to make shots tonight?
Again, we're the number one defensive team in the league. We worked our asses off to get there. I thought we did a good job for a lot of the game tonight, but when a team is shooting 55 and 52%, there's only so much you can do.
And then for Elena, I saw on the broadcast you were able to catch up with Sue and say a couple things to her. Would you mind sharing what you said, and then also what it was like sharing a court with Sue for whether it was in the WNBA or USA basketball, and what she was like playing with and against her?
What I said is between me and Sue, unless Sue decides to share it. And yeah, but, you know, sharing the court with Sue, she's just a phenomenal player with an IQ that you don't see very often. I feel like Sue should go on to coach, but who knows what she'll end up doing. She's a player that when I was on her team, her USA team, I've never felt so ready for games because of the way she was able to break things down and also simplify the game and teach it. And it's why Sue's teams win. So I think there's things we can learn from Sue. But yeah, it's why she's been so successful. It's why all of her teams are so prepared. And that's just why she's, you know, one of the GOATs and will go down as one.
Thank you. Safe travels back.
All right, y'all. All set. Thank you very much.